Hi everyone, this is Ravi. Welcome to Appium Mobile Automation tutorial. I'm going to start publishing a series of videos covering the introduction and the architecture of Appium tool, and then how can we set up and install Appium tool, and how can you connect to your real mobile devices and your virtual mobile devices by using Appium tool, and how can we start our first automation of your mobile app by using Android or iOS mobile devices. And then I'm going to cover a more advanced concepts of mobile automation by using Appium. Please do subscribe to the channel, click on the bell icon, you'll receive notifications whenever I publish more videos. Thank you. This is our lesson 1 where I'm going to introduce to the Appium tool, and then I'm going to talk about the basic setup. Our agenda item is, first I'm going to teach you the Appium architecture so that you'll understand how does Appium works while automating your test cases by using mobile devices. And then I'm going to teach you step by step how can you set up the Appium tool so that you can start automating your mobile test cases. First, Appium architecture. Appium operates on a client-server architecture consisting of the following components. You can refer to the diagram that is displaying on the screen while I am explaining step by step. The main component is Appium server. So the core Appium is the server written in Node.js in JavaScript language. It handles incoming requests from the client, processes them, and communicates with mobile device or emulator. What is the communication? The server communicates with the devices using the WebDriver protocol and translates commands from JSON formats into actions on the mobile devices. And then Appium client. So the client where test scripts are written can be various programming languages such as JavaScript, Python, Java, or Ruby, as I showed you in the diagram. And what is the communication method? The client sends requests to the server in the form of HTTPS commands, which server processes. So basically, client sends requests to the server in the form of HTTP commands, and then server processes those HTTP commands. So then JSON wire protocol. So what is the protocol that server communicates with? So the JSON wire protocol is used for communication between client and the server. It sends commands and receives responses in JSON format. And then request flow. How does a request from client to the device happens? The client sends a request. Example, let's say you click on a button. So the client sends a request clicking on a button in JSON format, and the server parses this request, performs the action on device, and sends a response back to the client. So drivers and automation frameworks. So Appium supports various drivers for different platforms. Example, XUI test for iOS devices and UI Automator 2 driver for Android devices. So these drivers translate the JSON wire protocol commands into actions understood by the mobile automation frameworks. And Bootstrap. For Android devices, Appium uses a Bootstrap process to install necessary components on the devices, ensuring the environment is ready for testing. And now let us discuss about the basic setup of your Appium tool. So I'm going to teach you step by step how can you set up Appium on your device so that you can start automating your mobile test cases. So what is our first step? Our first step is we need to install Node.js in your machine. Before you install the Node.js, we need to check and see if you have a Node.js installed already in your machine. How can we do that? Windows R, open your command prompt and then verify node-v. So it says node is not recognized as an internal or external command. That means you do not have Node.js installed. Or you can say npm-v. See, npm command also not recognized because we have not installed Node.js. So to install Node.js, you need to navigate to this URL. This is the URL that you need to enter. And if you see here, this is your Node.js download page. So if you see here, there is a pre-built installer. Go to pre-built installer and select the version that you would like to install, right? And let's say I want to install 20.15.1 version, okay? And then you need to select what is your operating system. Is it Windows, Mac or Linux? So because my system is a Windows, it automatically recognizes it as a Windows. And you need to select, is it 64-bit or 32-bit, whatever it is applicable for your system. So my system is 64-bit, that's why it is taking by default 64. And then click on download Node.js version 20. So this will download the .exe file. So once it is downloaded, so now navigate to the downloads. This is my Node.js. And then what should we do? We need to install the Node.js now. How to install? You just need to double click on this .exe and then you need to click on next and accept the terms in the license agreement. And then you need to select the folder that you like to store all the installable files. So I'd like to take this as a default path and click on next. And here, if you see here, it adds the add to the path. That means it's going to create an environment variable by itself. Let me go to environment variable and let me show you what I'm talking about. If you go to system environment variables, click on environment variables. Here, if you scroll down and see the path, right? This is my path. Open this. You can see here, there is nothing related to Node.js. Okay. So once installation is done, a new environment variable will be created automatically. Okay. So now here, let's go back to the installation wizard again, right? And then click on next. And then again click on next and click on install. So this is gonna install your Node.js on your machine. I'm giving permission to install the Node.js. So it takes a couple of minutes to complete the installation. So now my Node.js installation has been successfully completed. Click on finish. So how can I know if the Node.js has been installed on my machine or not? Let's go back to command prompt. So let me close this command prompt because I want to initiate a new session. So now again execute npm-v. So now it should show you the version of npm. See, this is the Node.js version, or you can also node-v. So your Node.js is version 20 and your npm package is 10.7.0. So why we need npm? Because the Node.js, whenever you install Node.js, your npm package also will be coming. Because this npm package is very important to install all other Appium related installations. You can install Appium, Appium Doctor, Appium Help, and everything you can install from npm package itself. So that is done. So once that is done, now let us go back to our environment variables again, and let me show you now what is the environment variable path that I have. Click on environment variables, and if you go to path, you should have a new environment variable path program files node.js. So that means your environment variable is already created by default. Okay, so that is done. So what is our next step? Our next step is installation of Appium. So let us see if we have Appium in our system or not. Let's go back to command prompt. Appium -version. So it's going to say if your system is already having Appium or not. If my system has Appium, then it shows me the version. So that means I have already installed Appium in my system. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to uninstall it. How? npm uninstall -g Appium. So this is going to uninstall your Appium from your system, because I want to show you how to install the Appium. So that's why I'm uninstalling the Appium from my system. So now if you see, my Appium has been uninstalled. If I execute again Appium version, see now Appium is not recognized. That means I don't have the Appium installed. Now to install Appium, we are going to use npm package as I told you. So the npm package we already have because we already installed Node.js. So what is the command? npm install -g Appium. If you want to install a latest version of Appium, you can simply specify @latest. This will install your latest version of Appium. Or you can also provide the version number here if you want to install previous version. Okay, so I want to install the latest version. That's why I'm gonna keep as @latest and then hit enter. So this will install your Appium on your machine. It will take a minute. Okay, so if you see now, my Appium has been already installed. So let me see Appium -version. So now I can see I have an Appium version 2.11.1. Okay, so done. So what is our next step? Now we have Appium also installed. So our next is we need to run Appium server, because we already installed Appium server. Okay, Appium nothing but Appium server we installed. Okay, so now to initiate the server, all you need to do is you simply enter Appium. This will start your server. To stop the server, you need to simply click on Control C. Now I'm starting Appium server. So this starts your Appium server. See, it is asking me to allow the Node.js JavaScript runtime. Yes, I would like to allow, because I'm starting Appium server for the first time. Okay, so if you see here, my Appium server has been started. Listener, see, this is the IP that it is using. Okay, and if you see here, you can provide the following URLs in your client code to connect to this server. This is the URL that you can use, either this or this. Okay, but if you see here, no drivers have been installed, no plugins have been installed, because in the latest version of Appium they have separated the drivers and the plugins from the Appium server. If you remember correctly in our previous slides, so here if you see in the previous slides, this Appium plugin and Appium drivers are separated from Appium server in the recent versions. So keep that in mind. That means even though you install Appium server, you need to install plugins and drivers separately. Okay, so now that is the reason you can see that warning. So if you want to stop the Appium server, you just simply click on Control C. Control C. So you can see now your Appium server has been closed. Server has been closed, shutting down. See, receiving, shutting down. There is no active sessions now. Okay, received, server closed. That means server has been stopped. Again, to start, again you have to enter Appium. Simple Appium command. That's it. Okay. Hope you understand. And now install Appium Doctor. So why do we need this Appium Doctor? So this is a very good handy tool which serves as a pre-flight check for Appium environment. So basically Appium environment contains different drivers, plugins, right? That is required to understand the automation mobile frameworks. And this Appium Doctor checks all these prerequisites and it attempts to diagnose and fix common Node, iOS, Android configuration issues. If you have any iOS, Android or Node related configuration issues, Appium Doctor will diagnose them and then it's going to fix the common problems. So that's the reason we need the Appium Doctor for Appium mobile automation. How can we install? We can simply specify npm. So if you observe correctly, whatever installation that we are doing from npm package itself. Npm install -g appium. You need to specify appium doctor. Okay, so this will install your Appium Doctor. So your Appium Doctor has been installed. How can I make sure that Appium Doctor installed? Appium doctor help. This will give you all the help commands. See, these are all the help commands that you can get. You can use version, you can use iOS. Let's use version version. So this gives you Appium Doctor's version. See, 1.16.2. And then if you enter Appium Doctor Android, we'll see what happens. Android. If you see, it's gonna give you an information whether what are all the drivers that is available in your system. If you see here, see, it says your Node.js is having and Node.js version is this, but you don't have Android home environment variable because I have not installed any Android. And then I don't have Java home. I don't have ADB Android emulators, right? And all these are missing because we have not installed any Java version. Why do we need all these? See, once you install Appium, you should have Appium client as well. By using the client, you can start creating your own framework so that you can start creating the script by using JavaScript or Java. So you can have a client like Eclipse you can use, or you can use Visual Studio, right? So these are all the different clients that you can use to start automating or to create the scripts for the mobile automation. So all these are not there, correct? So that's the information it is giving for you. Okay, so now let's go back here now. So then we need to install Appium drivers separately, as I told you earlier. Why do you need drivers? Drivers translates the JSON wide protocol into the actions on your mobile device that is being understood by the mobile frameworks. Okay, so the driver is the communicator that can convert your JSON wire protocols to the actionable events on your mobile framework. Okay, that's the reason we need drivers. So let's see Appium driver list. If I want to check if you have a Appium drivers or not, Appium drivers list. So it's going to show you what are all the drivers that you have. Sorry, Appium driver list. So in my machine, what are all the drivers that are available? So if you see here, these are all the drivers that are available in the market, but those are not installed. UI Automator 2, which is driver for Android mobile automation. XUI test, which is driver for your iOS devices. Mac 2, which is for Mac machines, right? And Chrome driver, Safari driver, and then Gecko drivers. So you do not have any drivers. And let's say I want to see Appium plugin list. Appium plugin list. Sorry, it's a wrong spelling. Plugin list. Appium plugin list. See here, these are all the plugins that are available, but I have not installed them, right? So now what is important for us? For Android, I need to install UI Automator 2 driver. So for that, Appium driver install UI Automator 2. This will install UI Automator 2. So this will install our UI Automator 2 driver, which is useful for us to automate your test cases on your mobile, Android mobile. So now your UI Automator 2 driver is installed, and you can use this UI Automator 2 to recognize the objects and to perform actions on the mobile applications. Okay, and now if I want to install Appium driver for XUI test, which is for iOS, Appium driver install XUI test. Appium driver install XUI test. This is for iOS devices. So now we have installed XUI test. We have also installed UI Automator 2. That means we have two drivers to start automating your Android mobile test cases, iOS mobile test cases. So now if you see the list, let's see drivers list. If you see the list, it should show all the list, but I can see UI Automator is already installed, XUI test also installed, and what is the version? You can see these are the two versions that I installed. That means now we are ready to start automating your mobile test cases on Android and iOS devices. But we have not installed any Java, we have not installed any client that we would like to use to write the scripts or to automate our test cases. But we are ready with our Appium server, we are ready with all the drivers that are required. We can perform the basic actions, or you can generate the script by using this UI Automator 2 itself. You can recognize objects on your mobile. You can record the actions on your mobile, and that script can be copied, and the same script can be used in your client side. If you are using Eclipse, you can simply copy the code from UI Automator 2 and then paste it into your Eclipse, right? So basically, without client itself, you can use these drivers and Appium server to generate the script or to record the actions that you perform on your mobile devices. This brings us to the end of our lesson 1. If you have any queries, leave your queries in the comment box. I'll try to respond to your queries. Hope you all understand the concepts of introduction to Appium and the architecture of Appium, how it works in automating your mobile applications, and also how can you set up the Appium tool so that you can start automating your mobile test cases. Please do subscribe to the channel, click on the icon, you'll receive notifications whenever I publish more videos. Thank you.